Good morning. It is 7:30. I'm Nicola, and today is our third day of going through the book of Mark. You had Jess on the first day, and you had Meg yesterday, and you've got me today. So there we go. So I hope you're going to follow us all the way through. We are going to go through the book of Mark. For those who don't know, Mark is in the New Testament, so the second half of the Bible, and it talks about Jesus' life, and what Jesus did. And so today I'm going to be reading from Mark chapter 1, verses 14 to 20. Now, in my book, it's actually headed and it's called The Calling of the Disciples. Morning, Keris. Nice to have you with us. Not all Bibles have headings. Some might have different headings as well. But in mine, that's what it says. It says The Calling of the Disciples. Okay, so we're starting at verse 14. Here we go. After John's arrest, so this was John the Baptist, Jesus came into Galilee announcing God's good news. The time is fulfilled, he said. God's kingdom is arriving. Turn back and believe the good news. As he went along beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and his brother Andrew. They were fishermen and were casting nets into the sea. "Follow me," said Jesus to them. "I'll have you fishing for people." Straight away they left their nets and followed him. He went on a bit and saw James, Zebedee's son, and John, his brother. They were in the boat mending their nets, and he called them then and there. They left their father Zebedee in the boat, in the boat with the servants, and went off after him. This is quite a short passage, this one, and it's the calling of the first disciples. So Jesus went into Galilee. So John the Baptist, who we've heard about already, he was arrested, and so now Jesus is stepping up now to start his work, start his ministry, and he starts calling the disciples. So he went along the edge of the lake, the Sea of Galilee, and he called 4 men to follow him. So there was Simon and his brother Andrew, and James and John, who were working with their father. Now, this kind of says that Jesus called them, and Mark says they left their father in the boat and went off after him. I made it sound quite easy, you know. They called him, Jesus called them, and they just went. But, you know, that's what kind of, in those days, that's what boys did. They followed their father's footsteps. They went into the family business. So if their dad, as like this, was a fisherman, they became fishermen themselves, and that's how they provided for their families. They went into their father's business, the family business. Now, it's different these days. That's not quite how it works. Yesterday my social media was filled with proud parents with their kids getting their A-level results, and a lot of them going off to university to do all sorts of different things. But the choice wasn't there, you know. In Jesus' time, they just followed their father into the family business, and Jesus called these men, and they just went. They left the family business to follow Jesus. They probably had no idea what they were going into, but they went anyway. There was something about Jesus that made them want to go. And, you know, it's the same today. You know, I mean, Jesus doesn't call us from our family business or our thing. I mean, maybe. I mean, you know, I work for the church, for Jesus, but, you know, I suppose in a way. But that's not really how it works today. But that's not to say that there's no sacrifice or changing of your life when you choose to follow Jesus, it happens, and I'm sure you've heard stories of people who have completely, absolutely changed their lives when they start to follow Jesus. And that's what happened here. This would have been a massive, massive change for these guys. You know, I mean, I wonder how Zebedee felt. You know, he had his two sons helping him, and then they just went off with Jesus with no idea of where they were going to go. But they had that faith. They had that trust in Jesus that something amazing was going to happen. And as we go through Mark, we are going to see some amazing things happening. I mean, bit of spoiler alert, sorry. But they had trust and they had faith. And this is how Jesus calls us. You know, he says, come follow me. You know, I want you part of my family. Come and follow me. And it takes faith. It takes courage to just leave your old life, and maybe not in a literal way, but to just leave that and to go and follow Jesus. And your life can be so changed. I know my life was changed, you know, and I did actually give up my job to work for Jesus, but not always like that, you know. So that's our verses for today. So that's Mark 1:14 to 20. So tomorrow there's a change. You've got Wayne tomorrow, so you'll get to see Wayne, and he will pick up the story to see what happens afterwards. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.